Gentleman is a 2024 action comedy television series created by Guy Ritchie for Netflix. It is a spin-off of Ritchie's 2019 film of the same name. The Gentleman was released on the 7th of March 2024. The premise of the series follows the happenings at a late Duke's estate upon his death and the estate and title of Duke bestowed upon his son, who must come to terms with the estate being part of a criminal enterprise's underground weed empire. The Good. It's a Guy Ritchie production. If that isn't enough to convince one to watch the series, then the social media snap survey I did, asking how people rate this, showed that people generally had a high rating of it. No pun intended. While the show is a spin-off from Guy Ritchie's 2019 movie, The Gentleman, you don't need to have seen that to appreciate this series, and if you haven't watched that and you happen to love this show, then you can also watch the movie. The show is brilliantly shot with slick visuals and has some riveting action set pieces. A seemingly benign situation can escalate into so much more, lit with a slow-burning fuse. The cast work well together, and Edward Honeyman has just about enough charm and zen to play the role of someone who can navigate the fine line between the aristocratic and the criminal. Susie Glass delivers a stellar performance, holding the reins if not absolutely stealing the entire production had the show been more from her perspective. Can't talk about the show without mentioning Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Mr. Stanley Johnson with a T, who plays a role that feels like a callback to his previous character as Gus Fring in the cult series Breaking Bad. The other supporting characters are also a piece of work, like Edward's brother, Freddie, who might not be the most reliable person, but family is family, and Jimmy Chang, who usually views the world from the purple haze of that sweet, sweet cannabis. The dialogue is fun and witty with never a dull moment. The bad. Don't start watching this show if you have deadlines, because the way each episode escalates, you will find yourself invested without meaning to. Some of the characters' actions can leave you frustrated, and even the favorites can make some really bad judgment calls that will make you roll your eyes that someone who's been consistently on point can make such a miscalculation. The pacing has slow burner approach and progresses in the form of side quests, which don't qualitatively add to the main quest, but instead just drag the storyline with convoluted subplots that serve no ultimate purpose, although the show does redeem itself by uniting some of the threads and also offers a degree of insight into character motivations. The ugly. The Gentleman isn't gratuitously violent, but it has a couple of rather gruesome scenes. The show glorifies his criminal activities. Watching this movie had me wondering how I could start my own weed empire. Marijuana is illegal to cultivate, possess, and/or distribute in Zimbabwe, although one can apply for an industrial license through Statutory Instrument 218 of 2020, Agricultural Marketing Authority regulations. As a reflection of society, there's a bleak take from the central theme and subplot on how the world pretends at being civil, but it's all a zoo, and even the nobility aren't as noble as they purport. Final thoughts. A witty action comedy that feels like Game of Thrones meets Shogun, but set in a modern English estate. The Gentleman topped the Netflix charts for several weeks until Three Body Problem came along, which is the current Netflix fave. Have you watched The Gentleman, either the series or the movie or both?